So today we're going to focus on how do we find the difference quotient. So this is a very popular question that involves a lot of algebra in it. So for our particular example, we're given f of x is equal to x squared minus x plus 4. Now the formula for the difference quotient is right over here. So what we're going to evaluate, or what we're going to find, is f of x plus h, and then we're going to subtract f of x from it, and we're going to divide that all by h. So the first step is to find f of x plus h. Now, f of x plus h looks like f of x. Instead of, think about erasing each x and inputting an x plus h instead. So for example, if I was finding like f of 3 for x plus 4, I'd be taking the 3 and putting it in for x to make that 3 plus 4. The only difference is we're finding f of x plus h. So instead of x, we put in x plus h and continue on with the equation. So I'm going to take my equation here. So the first thing I have is x squared. But remember, instead of x, we're doing x plus h. So that's x squared minus x. But instead of x, we have x plus h and then plus 4. So that's the first part. That's f of x plus h. And then we're going to subtract f of x from it. So when you subtract, make sure that you do put parentheses around all of f of x, because we're not just subtracting the first term, we're subtracting the entire equation. So we're subtracting all of x squared minus x plus 4, the whole thing. And that's important because we need to remember to distribute that minus sign. And this entire thing is all going to be divided by h. Okay, so it's a long problem. It is a big problem. There's a lot of algebra, a lot of chance to make little mini mistakes. So make sure that you take your time, you do it one step at a time. First thing in my numerator is I need to square that binomial. So when you take x plus h times x plus h, so squaring a binomial real quickly there, it's going to give you x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. And if you need to, go off to the side and you can double check that multiplication and forward it out or distribute it out however you like. Minus x minus h. Remember, we need to distribute that minus sign. And then we have a plus 4. And then we're going to distribute this minus sign as well. Minus x squared minus a negative x, which makes that plus x, and then minus 4. And that's still all over h. Now, typically after you've multiplied and distributed everything in the numerator, typically there is a lot of things that cancel out. So that would be the next thing that I'm going to tell you to do with this problem here. So first, input the function correctly. All right, then take care of any calculations that can be done. Then simplify, combine any like terms, that kind of thing. So I see I have an x squared and a negative x squared here. So those will cancel. I see that I have a negative x and a positive x here. So those will cancel. I have a positive 4 and a negative 4. So those will cancel. And I believe that's it. So all I have left over here is 2hx plus h squared minus h, and that's going to be all over h. Now, if you notice everything in the numerator, 2hx, h squared minus h, they all have an h in it. So what we can actually do at this point here is we can factor out an h. So I'm going to pull out an h from the numerator. So if I pull out an h, that leaves me with 2x plus. I'm taking out one of these h's, so it's going to leave me with 1. And then minus, if I get rid of this h, it leaves me with a 1. Right, so that h that I factored is going to cancel with the h in the denominator, leaving me with this bit here in the numerator, the 2x plus h minus 1. And that would actually be my final answer for this problem here. So again, take this problem step by step. Be very careful with your multiplying and your canceling skills here. But otherwise, that's it for this video.